Very good evening. Yeah, yeah. Are you able to see my screen? Uh, okay, okay. So, just yesterday I started with, but most of the guys not join. So, but today I'll try to continue. So, what I do is like I'll be sharing the recording session. Okay. So, mm, okay. So, in our last class, I was discussing about uh, okay. Before starting, any questions? Uh, Slides or videos? Uh, you have another email ID, Pooja. You share it to me. That one I'll share it up another account. Okay. 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 Any more questions? Okay. Hmm. Okay. We were discussed yesterday till 100. So we go for further. So what is the difference between like image checkpoint and bitmap checkpoint? That is what. So image checkpoint helps us for validating complete image, and it will support only web-based applications. But bitmap checkpoint, if we go for, even if you want to validate part of the image, even that is also it will support. And another advantage of bitmap checkpoint is like it will try to support all of the technologies whatever available in your IT industry. Okay, so another important feature of bitmap checkpoint is like even dynamic images also you can validate. But you have to remember, dynamic images you have to validate means you should go for multimedia yard. You have to purchase multimedia yard. Okay, so that is nothing but like difference between like image checkpoint and bitmap checkpoint. What does it mean when a checkpoint is in red color? What does it mean is like whenever you execute in your results window, it will give you like green or red. Green means what does it mean? That step got failed. So enough the step is in red color means that step it was failed. Okay, so why it's got failed, you'll try to analyze. If it is application issue, you go ahead and report the defect. What is the difference between like code files and object repository file? Code file means your test script, object repository means your shared object repository or something like that. So here shared object repository you can keep track even in the form of excel xml file. Okay, so that's why here object repository file they're considering it as. What are the scripting languages QTP supports? All scripting languages, yeah, but VB script mostly people use. Analyzing the checkpoint results. So in case you are inserted checkpoints in your QTP means it will whenever you execute some checkpoints may get passed, some checkpoints may get passed. So in case if it get you try to analyze if it's pass it will give you like green color, it will fail means it will give you in red color. Then accordingly you take this. How many types of repositories available? Exactly, mostly you will go for shared object repository. But when we go for shared object repository, the difficulty is like only one person at a time it will allow you for modifying. All the other person will get disabled, will be like having viewing privileges only. View privileges only. But while automating, you have some test case, but the test case related object you are not found in your QTP. Okay, so at that time, mm, what to do? So you cannot yard, right? So that's why you will request your team lead or project manager who is having access for modification. So on behalf of you, he will yard, then you will be able to continue your automation. So this is the case means, if you are maintaining shared object repository, the thing is like, only one automation expert will be having all the privileges, all other team members having only view privileges. So that is the case people were maintaining in case if you are going for shared object repository means. Okay, even you are using windrunner for your automation means, that windrunner script you can execute in your QTP. You have to insert, you can open that script and you can execute. Object spec whether specific object is identifying by your QTP tool or not, means you can go for like object spec or specific object properties you have to view, you can go for object spec. Okay. Okay, and in your windrunner you will get like GUI spec, they renamed in QTP as object spec. So during descriptive level programming, you will be using mostly this object spec. How do you import XLS file into your data table QTP? Data table dot import, or even if you want to export from QTP means data table dot export. Yeah, you can do, that is what I could have told you at the time, like, if you want to data you will be maintaining through inputs.xls file. That is what, while executing you can import to your QTP data table and pass that test data to your test scripts. So that is one way. Another way, directly you can use VB scripting like excel dot application, but mostly we go for excel dot application VB scripting method only. Okay, so how to call action now? Call action it will take just that's it. Okay, one test script for another and syntax to call. Syntax for how to call one test script. So call to existing action something like that you can go for. Another test script also you can use. How to export QTP results to your XLS file. Okay, right click export. So which file you want to export, like XLS or HTML file, how you want to export, that is the kind of file you can choose and you can export. How to open any of the application during scripting, how many ways you can open application during scripting. One is system utility data. Yeah, yeah, right, that is another way. Good. Programmatic ID way, that means like VB scripting. Another way, shell scripting also you can use. Okay, so these are the different ways you can use. Types of properties that QTP learns. What are the properties it will look for? Yeah, what are those? Monetary properties, monetary properties, assistive, and ordinal identity. And ordinal identity. What is the extension of test script? Mercury test script and object repository file, MTR and TSR. MTR for local object repository, TSR for shared object repository. Is it correct? Okay. TSR for test script repository, MTR shared object repository, I believe. Check it up, okay? Somewhere I have mentioned. Okay, so how to turn off QTP results after running a script? It will be irritating, right? Again and again, whenever you run one statement, it's giving you results means it will be like little bit boring. So you have to turn off means tools, options, there turn off results one option will be there. You can turn off like that. Tools options. How to verify the cursor focus of a certain field? Is focused. That is what you can go for. Is focused. Okay. So how to verify cursor focus? How to make arguments optional in a function? You can just pass empty parentheses. Okay, just empty parentheses. You can pass it up. How to convert a string to an integer? CINT. See, like that some conversion functions were there. So for converting string to integer means CINT, convert integer. CSTR, maybe convert for string, like that some functions are there. If something you are not aware of, QTP is very user friendly help it will provide you. You can go and search. Inserting a call to action, not importing all columns in data table. It doesn't import. One second. Call to action is not importing all columns in data table. It will import actually. It's not importing means something problem. Okay. So you have to reopen your QTP. It should import always 100%. Okay. No doubt. If it's not importing means there should be some problem. How can you describe the basic flow of automation with additional and programmatic logic? Conditional programmatic logic. It depends on your requirement, right? So normally you'll record your basic operation. So the recorded script may not meet your 100% automation expectation. Then you will come up with like enhancements. How to handle the exceptions using recovery scenario? Four steps you'll take to follow, and there are four types of recovery scenario. But really, in real time, VB scripting kind of recovery scenario you will be implementing. So what is the use of text output value? Okay, so outputs, how many ways you can output? XML text file, Excel text files, HTML, something like that, right? So that in, oh no, sorry, I'm sorry, this is another thing. Text output value, during output value you'll get text output value, right? So particular property of a specific object you have to output means you can go for text output value. Right, right, exactly, yeah. How to use objects by, okay, how to use means you use shortcut key or click on objects by icon. Okay, how does QTP identifies objects properties? How can I call an external function? Yeah, right, right. Mandatory properties, strict properties. So external function you can associate that function library to your settings resources, then directly you can call. How to call a function in QTP? How many types of actions are there in QTP? How many types? Internal actions, external actions. Yeah, that is it. Reusable and non-reusable also you can consider, but depends on situation you have to analyze. What are the different scripting languages? This is aware of. How to handle dynamic objects in your QTP? There are so many ways. How many ways? Yeah, yeah. Get output property one way. Yeah, output properties. I mean like output point. Get output property. Okay, and sorry, uh, only those two. Regular expressions also, right? Even descriptive programming also. VB scripting approach also you can go for. So the smart identity mechanism I have told last class. What is the difference between like checkpoint and output point? What is the difference between call to action and copy of action? See, whatever I have discussed, if you are aware of everything is covered, right? Any of the question you haven't covered? Yeah, like yeah, like one or two questions, okay? So, how to add a checkpoint to your test to check whether welcome is displayed in your welcome page or not? There are so many ways, okay? Okay, so how to running and analyzing a test with checkpoints? How many types of actions are there? What is parameterizing the test? It is parameterization. Okay, so differences between QTP and winner. It's not required. Just ignore it. Nobody is going for. Okay, so how to add a runtime parameter to a data sheet? Data table dot parameter. Parameter one method is there. With the help of that method, you can use data table dot parameter. Okay, how can I add the action programmatically? Uh, some method may be there. That is what I have to look it up even. Okay, so when running, how you will add is like call something like that. You may use it up. Okay, so that is what I have to look up. You search in Google, you may get it up. Okay, so how many ways we can parameterize data? There are different ways, right? What is meant by source control? This is also I'm not sure. I have to check it out. How does runtime data is handled in QTP? Runtime data, how you will handle? That is parameterization. Data table dot, yeah. There are so many. Data table dot run, data table dot cell, something like that. Okay, data table dot value. So WinRunner and QTP, how do you batch testing in WinRunner? In WinRunner it's not there. Okay, but in QTP available. There are so many ways. Explain the concept of object repository. That is what you are already aware of. Explain about the test fusion report. This is also I have to check it up here. Test fusion report. What is test model? Test object model. This is important. What is test object model? What is the yard in your region? That is nothing but object model. What is the yard? So if you are using Java object model, your QTP follows. If you are using .NET object model, your QTP follows. Okay. What are the properties you would use for identifying a browser or page when using descriptor programming? There are so many properties. My class and that is what you go for initially. My class, then title you go for. Then if that doesn't provide a few so many other properties are there, right? That is what you go for. Explain brief about QTP object automation model. This one I told so many times, right? How to get font size of a web editor. That property you can use just that's it. Get arrow property, which font size. Does QTP is Unicode compatible? Yeah, QTP is Unicode compatible. Is there any way to automatically update data source name in database in checkpoints? Yeah, you can update it. You have to look for some property. Okay, so even VB scripting, you can use whatever the data source name you want, right? You can pass it up, right? Any limitation of external checkpoint? There are no limitation. It's actually latest versions is providing almost all features whatever you have to test with your XML pages. So what do you to test when objects are removed from application? Okay, objects are removed from application means this is invalid question. You ignore. Okay, objects when objects are removed from application. What is that mean? Objects are modified means you can look for like however dynamically will handle with the help of get out property. But removed means that is what? If object is not available, then you don't. That is bug, right? That is bug. You will report it as a defect. How to create runtime property for an object? Set to property. With the help of get arrow property, you'll get the property, and for running for during that is the property you have to set means set TO property, test object property. You will use that exam method. Give me an example where you have used COM interface. Normally, that is what I told, right? Gmail application, component object model without using QTP. Okay, that is what you go for. But in real time, you never get a chance. Okay, they may ask you. That is what you remember. How to handle runtime errors? There are so many ways. Depends on situation. Okay, runtime errors, debugging. There are so many ways, right? That is what you can. How to change runtime value of a property for an object? How to change runtime value of a property of an object? Yeah, right. Set to property. How to change the runtime value of an object? Okay, set to property, get to property, and another thing is like get RO property, get to property also you will get. Get RO property, set TO property, okay, get TO property. These are the three methods you will use. Get RO property for getting, get TO property means what it does, just in your object repository, it will save properties, right? Properties and values. From your object repository, you have to fetch value of a particular object, what it was told. That is what you can go for. Get TO means test object property. TO means test object property. RO means repository object property. But really, that is the thing. Repository object property means during runtime you will be getting. Okay, set to property means it will be setting test object property during runtime. Okay, get RO property means dynamically fetching object property from your application. Get test object property means get property of a particular object from your object property, whatever it was stored. Okay, set to property means normally get RO property, set to property. These two combination you will use. Okay, get TO property. Really, you never get a chance to use real time. Okay, just for awareness purpose, you remember. Mm. How can I implement error handling in QTP? There are so many ways. How to retrieve the property of the object, get RO property. How and what kind of VB function do you use in QTP? Depends on regular expressions you are aware of, right? Example where you'll use title, specific. In your project, you be prepared. You go through all these sessions, all these questions, and prepared. If this is a question in your application, be prepared. So you may think like in the interview, I'll prepare and it'll tell means it's a bit hard. At the time, you may be a little bit hurry and you may not remember. So, what is the priority you are trying to put in your resume? That is what you prepare and be prepared for everything. How to select a particular value from the combo box? Select. That is the method you can go for. If you have same application screen in with 7 drop-down boxes and approximately 7 values, how do you test? Select. That is what I have used sometime. Browser.page.list box dot item count. Okay, it will give you like then item like that you can do. It's very simple. You go and search methods. The logic, see, I can tell you the thing is the concept, but logic you have to come up with. You have to think about it. Time to time depends on situation, depends on application. You will get changed, right? So that is what you have to think little bit. Just you'll get it up. Descriptive programming when you go for. So what is the purpose of descriptive programming? How to instruct QTP display errors and this is what filter reporting the reported dot enable filter, disable filter, something like that I could have told you sometime. Okay, that is what you can go for. How you write script in QTP? That is what by coming up with directly scripting. What is descriptive programming? How to add runtime parameter to a data table dot parameter. That is the object you go for. How to load the .vbs or test generation script in a new machine. See, directly you can associate or you can go for in a silk test means .use you can use. use in QTP also some function is there, some method is there for loading or for including VBS file. uh, like in C you'll use header file, right? Include iostream dot something like that, exactly like that here also some VBS file you are storing function library folder. That is what you have to load means some command is there, load. I'm not sure, load maybe, okay, but I have to check it up. You search in Google, okay, no Mr. will search. Execute file, this is the command, okay, execute file. Execute file directly you can give path of the file, it will get execute automatically, it will include, okay. So then wherever you want you can use that file, in that file what are the functions available, those functions you can use. Execute file, okay. External object is for I'm not sure, this is what I have to check. Even another intro question will come across .dll. I'll check it up and I will tell you, okay. Calling a .dll file in QTP, that is also another question. How can you write script without using GUI in QTP? You can directly type, okay. How to load .vbs new machine, how to add runtime parameter, what is descriptive, this is what I told already. How can you write script without using GUI in QTP? 39, I'm at 39 now. If application name is changes frequently, you go for dynamic handling of objects, get turbo property. What are the properties you would use for identifying a browser? And this is what all we discussed, right? Okay, few basic questions commonly used Excel VBA. Okay. uh, Coloring, these are the functions I have somewhere, okay. Coloring or autofill cell, setting navigation from link, That is what I have used in my blog. Somewhere you search, you will get it. How does parameterization? This is very useful question. Cursor focus. How to retrieve property of the object? Get our property per action repository. Okay. So have you ever written a compile module? Everything whatever we are doing, that is compile module, right? Explain the terms test and business component. Test means single property, single project. Business component means for multiple projects will come up here. Okay. Give me an example where you can use COM interface. What is a CBIL application using QTP? Yeah, CBIL application very well support, but CBIL add-in you have to use, right? Only the thing is you have to go for using CBIL add-in. Hybrid framework. I am at 52. How do you test CBIL application? So 53. What is the significance of regular expressions? Part of the property is varying means you can go for regular expressions. Complete property is varying means you go for get arrow property. What is a hybrid framework? How to useful? Both. How to handle exceptions using recovery scenario? How to test can be enhanced with the help of checkpoint synchronization point. Simply I have to say means what are the features available in your QTP? Every feature comes under enhancement only, right? So what is test object model? So for what purpose step generator uses? If you want to manually perform step generator, you want to manually perform step by step, you can go for step generator. Or 10 manual actions you are trying to record, but 9 actions it was recorded, 1 action it was not recorded. At the time you go for step generator. Okay. So if an application name changes frequently, then you go for get arrow property. Or regular expressions you go for either of the way. I want to open notepad window without recording it. That is system integrated, and I do not want to use system integrated data. How you can open notepad data application? That is VB script programmatic ID you go for. Syntax for how to call. This is what how to call one script form. This is what I'm not sure. Wait a minute, let us check. Okay, run action. Uh, run action. By default, if you testing QDP means you are getting one action. This is not correct. Okay, this is how you are called to copy of action, called to existing action. But this one may be run action. This is a method you may use. See, whatever you see in Google, you cannot say like it's 100% perfect. Each and everybody gives his own thoughts, right? But 90% waste it will be there. Uh, how to call one action from another action? This is what we go for. This is with the help of scripting means this is a way. I'm not sure. This is what I have to check it out. And another thing is test from another test. Oh, this is what not. This is not correct one. Okay. Through scripting. Okay. This is for reaction. Load and run action, execute action. Another URL we found. What is that one? Puja. run action, I believe. Yeah, run action or load and run action. This one is the correct one, I believe. But I have to, yeah, maybe 90%. We have to check it up once. Okay, so this one may be correct one. Run action or load and run action. Either of the one. If it is older version means run action. 11 means load and run action maybe. So what is this? How I run test run from command line? This is BB script approach we come up, right? That is what you can go and execute there. Okay. Uh, where we are? Civil object. 53 is significance of regular expressions. Hybrid framework. Test is enhanced. Okay. So how to do the scripting? Is there inbuilt function QTP and QTP? How to scripting? It will be like enhancement, right? Types of properties that QTP test. Okay. So merge object repositories. Object repository merge tool you can go for. What is disciplinary programming? How to use disciplinary programming? When to use disciplinary programming? How to get the number of description defined as a collection? Dot collection of dot child object. Okay. Number of description defined in how to get number of description defined in a collection. This is what I'm not sure. This is not valid. Okay. How do I think if property exists or not in a collection? This is what maybe during virtual object you'll create a collection, right? Related to that one, Pooja. I have to check it out. Quick test professional 8.2 tips. It's ignore its older version, right? How can I check a parameter exists in data table or not? Data table that parameter exists or some with the help of parameter some method you can use and you can find out. Library files or VB files. How do we associate to test? File settings, resources. What is the difference between test object and runtime object? I could have told so many times. What is the difference? Test object is nothing but record time, run object is runtime. How can I change properties of test object? Set to property. That is what, right? Set to property, you can change property. Can I change properties of runtime object? Yeah, definitely no issues. That is set to property, get arrow property. Okay? Get with the help of get arrow property, you can get the property dynamically and you can use set to property. My test fails due to checkpoint failing. Can I validate checkpoint without my test failing due to checkpoint failure? No, it's not possible. Okay. And if you want to disable specific step failing means while in logs you have to report failing steps. What we go for? Reported at filter. Some is there, right? And disable your filters 1 0 1 2 3. Those three you can use or report a filter that you are aware of, right? That is what reported at filter you will use at this point of time. How to connect a database? What ADB that connect a string. Okay. How many maximum actions can be performed? There is no limit. How to create a dynamic object model? Object repository with the help of repository. Dynamic. How to create dynamic object repository in QTP? Dynamic object repository means see. uh, if you remember in QTP, you can come up with a script with the help of VB scripting. Just 1 second. If you remember some point of time I was told you this one. How means yeah, anything any of the database you can pass four parameters. What is the driver? What is the server? Yeah, yeah, tell me. You go ahead with your question. Yeah, yeah. For Excel connection, you can use Excel dot object, that is one way. Another way, ADO DB dot connection string, that is also you can use. Good question. But for Excel is also like database, right? You can use both the ways. ADO DB dot connection string also you can use, but mostly you'll use Excel. Okay, you can use either of the way. So this is what I have talked some point of time. If you remember, generate script. If you go for object identification, generate script. So desktop, if I come, yeah, yes, yeah, yes. Uh, VB scripting way, you can come up with like your descriptive object. Like this, you can define application options, object identification, what is the class, which are the properties you have to add. See, location remover, all the existing properties you are removing, then adding. This is how you can come up with dynamically adding object properties even during runtime. Okay, so where you will get this script, you want to refer me, tools object identification, tools object identification, generate script. From here you will get. This one I told already, but just remembering one second. Okay, like this. Okay, how to connect data table, maximum actions, how to perform, uh, how to open multiple instances of application from multiple instances of an application from multiple inst no limit. Yeah, okay, no limit. QTP doesn't perform multiple browsers. It will support Internet Explorer. Nowadays they come up with Google Chrome also, but Mozilla Firefox also it will support, but not that much flexible. Operating systems also it doesn't support, but Selenium is the best tool at that point of time. Multiple instances of application means you can open, but each and every instance how you can recognize is like indexing during uh, ordinal identifier. I could have told you like index, location, creation time. Either you can go for index, location may not provide, even location also you can go for, or creation time also you can go for. Can you mask a code? Yeah, even for your test script or some VB script file, you can provide user privilege, like specific users only will be able to access, others cannot view. Even really, to be frank, that is what I have to check it up, Pooja. That is what really I'm also not aware of, but that is possible very well. Okay, that is possible. So is there any function to double click a particular row in a web table? Yes, there it should be there, but I have to check it out. Is there any function to double check particular row in a web table? Double click, yeah, is there. What you do is like you go data table dot browser dot page dot data table dot cell row comma column dot double click, or click. For double click, one function is there. You can give like 0 or 1 or 2, some number. It will double click anywhere wherever the coordinates you give or specific point you will give. Okay, so that is browser dot page dot data table row comma column dot click. So you want to click left click, by default 1 you will give, means left click. Right means 2, double click means 3 or 4 something is there. That key you will give, it will double click just. You search in QTP, it will give you. Okay, 0 for left button, 1 for right button, 2 for okay, middle button. But double click, okay, double click cell, row comma column. Okay, so object, double click cell, row comma column. In sometimes you may get a chance. Okay, sometimes you may get, right, so that's why they come up here. See, object means data table dot row dot data table dot browser dot page dot data table dot double click what is the row and column. Very easy, right? Okay, okay, how to get the column count and row count? Dot get row count dot column count, that is very easy. How to schedule? That is what scheduler you can use in your QTP. Scheduler is there. That is what in quality center one function is there, like just scheduler. What time you want, like that you can use it up. Normally scheduler, how from where you will get administrative tasks, scheduler one task. Some point at time I was told you. Okay, so that is what is add INS to work flex based. Really, I'm not sure. I have to check it out. How to identify web element? This is what I told. Okay, what is the difference between window and dialog? Window is some main window you'll get. Dialog means pop-up or something like that. How do you retrieve class name test object? Class name is my class get our property you can use. What is the best way of test Unix? If QTP supports, QTP supports, QTP doesn't support, I believe. QTP doesn't support Unix. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages between that is what Internet Explorer? How to handle dynamic web list? Dot list count and item dot get item. What is the item? 1 2 3 index you can pass like that you can handle. Okay, browser dot page dot web list dot get item count. Then for the e equal to 1 to item count, like that what is the logic you want to, you can come up with. We are trying to avoid that anybody see our script. This is what we already told. What is the different execution modes? What are the different modes available? Normal mode, fast mode, maintenance run mode, update run mode, and debug mode. How we recognize objects? How to write QTP test results in Excel application? We come up with functions. WinRunner you ignore it. WinRunner QTP both are functionality testers from same company. Okay, why they come up means for advanced purpose. How do you test links using quick test function? Dot click, dot link. How do you call DLL? How do you test DLL files using QTP? This is what I have to tell. I will check it up, Pooja. After importing in external XLS datasheet, how to set no number of iterations? That is what I told, right? Normally, if it is global sheet means it will automatically set. If it is local sheet means data table dot get sheet. What is the sheet? Dot get row dot how many rows for I equal to 1 to set current row, like that. Okay, data table dot get sheet you will use at this point of time. Get sheet you will enable, then as usual you can go for. How to test object web pages? Test dynamic objects, there are so many ways. Regular expressions, get arbor property, output property. How do we connect Oracle database? That is ADB dot connection. What is the process for creating an automated test script, assuming that we have what is this? What is the process of getting automated test script using QTP? Assuming you have reviewed the manual test case to automation conversion. How to use a data driver data, that means parameterization. What is the advantages and disadvantages of using virtual object? Disadvantages is like uh, I told right at that time. What is the disadvantage of virtual object? You are creating virtual object in this machine. You will be able to execute only in this machine, but you have to execute that test script in another machine. Means what you have to do while creating? No, you can create, that is another way, but it's not possible, right? But shortcut way I told. While creating virtual object, it will create like vpt some file it will create in your local computer. Okay, C program files QTP wherever it was installed, you go there dot dat file VOT file, that one also you have to copy to that machine along with your QTP test script. That is the disadvantage. And normally we don't go for, but just be aware of without recording objects in your QTP. Yeah, without recording you can come up with complete scripting. This is what nowadays people are coming up with. Why an XML schema? This is I'm also not sure, Pooja. So can anybody explain the differences between reusable and external action? External and reusable both are same purpose, right? Yeah. So I need information on using FSO also is significant. FSO how to use, how to run script recorded in English flavor of application and rerun. This is I'm also not sure. And another flavor like French or something like that. This feature QTP they come up with, but not sure. I have to check it out. How good QTP for stable? Yeah, Cbel it will support very well. You can come up with. How is automation using QTP for regression? Anybody explain me the concept of checkpoint declaration? So how can we validate PDF file? PDF files also we can validate, but separate files are there. Separate, I mean like patch files you have to install, separate plugins you have to install for this one. You can validate even PDF files for comparison or something like that. What is the best way to do regression testing using QTP? What are the use functions public, private? Public and private, why you go for? Variables you are aware of, right? Exactly like that. Variables, what is the purpose of private and what is the purpose of public? How can we return values any different function? Function name itself you will use in VB scripting, but other means you can use input output variables. How to retrieve or update database by writing code? How can I import or merge existing repository to current test? Associate, right? Or even repository.yard, repository.remove. That is a method I have told during utility object. What is limitation of QTP? Is always almost providing all features, but except like some features still gaming domain and this kind of things. Even today also you cannot automate. How to automate editing XML file? XML checkpoint you can go for. What is the disadvantage or drawbacks of QTP? Almost all, but drawback is like maintenance. These are the drawbacks. Whatever I told, that is what you can explain. Each test that you run is displayed on the screen. I'm looking for a way to run test in background. Object QTP dot visible false. Right? So what is QTP plus? That is older version of QTP. Okay. So before coming QTP, they come with QTP plus. That is another tool. So when a test is recorded in quick test and connecting 10 rows of a database, can we change the script? You can change any point of time. How do you test CBL application using QTP? How to data retrieve from external spreadsheet, either Excel application or ADB net connection. Give me an example. What is the command QTP to invoke IE browser? You are aware of, right? How to execute QTP script from command prompt. So this is what I have to check it out. QTP from command. I have shown you some script just now, right? So that is what you can go for. How we will count the total number of web links in a page? How you link? How you find out how many links are available in that page? Dot child objects. Yeah, dot child objects. One link descriptive object we create, object description, object link. For that one, my object link equal to description that create object link of my class equal to link. Then browser dot page link dot get children. It will give you like how many links are available in that page. See, set object link equal to description that create, then object link of my class dot value equal to link, then browser dot page dot object link dot get children are child objects. If you ask, it will give you like how many links are there in that page. Link description link test object we have created, right? That is the way. Only the thing is child object you will use, get children, something like that. That is the method. How will you create an object in QTP? We created so many objects, right? Difference between TSL and VB script. Test script language. This is Window's own scripting language. TCL, not TSL, okay? Spelling mistake. Whether a button is enabled or not. Okay, get turbo property enabled. Property if you give, if it's enabled 1, if it's not enabled 0, it will give. What are the challenges to face? So there are so many challenges you will face during creating object. Okay, so dynamically handling objects, something like that. So like this, if we go for how to create a library file, that is function library. Advantages of associating procedure with a test. What are the advantages of creating procedure? Functions and procedure. This is what I have missed out. I have to tell you. Okay, function class I forgot to tell you actually. Class. Okay, that is what I will tell you some point. What are the methods of text string? Test object. This is purpose of close method. Give the scenario you may add data external sources. Give a scenario in which you may require to access data from external sources. Every time, right? Framework you are implementing is Excel test file INFL will pass data. Get sheet method. This is what I told just now. Which method do you use to retrieve data from web list? To retrieve data, get count, get item count, get item 1. It will give you first item. Get item 2. Give you second item. What are the VBScript functions that invoke dialog boxes to interact with users? In like message box and inbox. Message box is for displaying output value during debugging. Okay, input box is for passing data to your QTP. This is what I told, I believe, some point of time. Input box. Okay, okay, this is what enter a value like this. Okay, this is input box. A split function. This is what I explained very detailed at some point of time. Right? Split function. What is the function of a set operator? Set. Yeah, in VB script. Array. Uh, it will what is the delimiter you have to, what is the string you are giving, that string you want to separate, you want to split one string with the help of comma, it will separate. That is nothing but like a split function. That's it. Okay, it's very simple. This one you may get a chance to use. Okay, this is wrong, index is wrong, right? Index is wrong. Okay, one I have to give. Of the is operator is available. Okay, so is string or is integer, something like that, that point of time means you can go for like is or that kind. Okay, what are the additional uses of programmatic descriptions? Descriptive programming, that is description object. What are the steps involved in building a programmatic description in dynamic objects? Description object both. What is the difference between like constants and variables? Which command you use in QTest Professional to retrieve the value of enabled property of a property? Enable, get our property. What are the advantages of retrieving values of properties? To script and to validate the functionality of the application. What is the function of breakpoints? What is the function of VB script with statement? I told some point of time. With I told you. What is the function of auto expand VB script syntax feature in expert view? No, this is what expert view. In expert view you have to expand, right? Okay, so for that one some function is there, I have to check it out. When does an optional step execute? Optional step, optional step means what does it mean? No, that is what optional step. Option means some of the step, maybe some of the skips you want to make it some of the tests. Yeah, that is what you go for. Oh, is it rightly? Hmm. Okay, that is how something we have to make it means some command you have to find. Oh, edit optional step. Optional GC somewhere? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, like that. When it will enable or not? Okay. Yeah, yeah, right. Maybe. Oh, okay. Okay, like that you will get. Yeah, that is what. Uh-huh. What is the function auto expand VB script? This is also if you search you will get it. Okay. Okay, we'll see like mm, expand VB script syntax. What is the function of the auto expand VB script syntax? What is this? Function of auto expand. See, with my understanding, this one is minimized, right? This is what. Okay. For this one maybe, but one find if you search in Google, you will get it up. Okay. Okay. So, what does an absent step execute step? Please list VB script looping statements. How do you data table object to store? How to build skips that access data from external source? Still, so many questions are there. Okay, first we go for quickly. Which one new one is there means we go for. What are the main options available in step generator? Three steps are there, right? Test objects, utility objects, and functions. Describe the benefits of step generator. Reusable and multiple actions. What is the difference between global and local shift? Checkpoints, parameters. Create data driven tests, regular equations, global sync, timeouts, synchronization timeout. Okay. That means file settings. File settings there you go for time means it will be like global setup stuff kind of stuff. Yard synchronization step. There are so many steps available, right? I'll just go for. Okay, what is exception handling? Describe how and when smart identification mechanism used, how to retrieve data from application objects, VB-script operators, functions, statements. QA analyst can identify when programmatic descriptions are used. It depends on requirement. Your automatic means at which point at time, which scripting, when you go for disciplinary programming, when you go for VB scripting, it depends on requirement, right? Depends on your test. How do you write the scripts that operate different objects runtime environment? Scripts that operate on different objects. Get our property. There are so many ways out there, right? Regular equations depends on requirement. You must go for. How a software tester can use constants and variables. How can you retrieve get our property? The software automation specialist enter expert browser dot give means it will give you automatically the steps. Expert view. Okay. Please identify when the expert view is useful for non-technical people. Did you abort loops procedures, exit loop, exit for, exit while. Okay. So exit action, exit run, test run, something like that. Exit you can go for. So what are the main ways of managing QTP run errors? Debugging there are so many ways, right? Okay. So please identify when to handle runtime. As is most of the things you are aware of here. How to use data table object, we will skip looping statements. So what are the optional step? Okay. So this is nothing but your examples or intro questions question. In addition, if you have anything at any point of time, okay, we can come back to me. We'll discuss. Okay. But most of the things whatever we covered, that is what. Okay. You have any more questions, Pooja? Uh, yeah, 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 yeah. Sure.